In this video, I'll show you how to zip files in Windows 11. This guide also works for Windows 10. So join me, Mark, a network engineer with 26 years experience of working for ISPs, managed service providers and corporations. With that, let's get started. Okay, so on the desktop I've basically got four files here. So I've got an image, an executable file, text document and a video. So first off, what we need to do is establish the size of them. So let's do that now. So let me just select all of those, right click and do properties. So it's saying it's 6.53 meg. So let me just open a little text document here. So 6.53 meg is our starting. So what we can do is we can select them all again, and then what we want to do is right click, and now we want to go down to compress. So if we say additional options at the bottom, and we can see we've got 7-zip here, but we can change that to just be zip, and we'll do a test between the two, and then we get the compression level. So we can either do it faster, and obviously it depends on the size of the file that you're trying to zip, but if we select smallest at the bottom at the moment, so it's going to try and compress that, the heaviest if you will, and click create on that. Okay, so it's created a file. So now let's right click on this file or drag it in here so we can see it, and obviously we can rename that if we want to. Just go for the option to do that, so you can rename that to whatever you want, but we'll leave it as it is in the moment. So right click and let's go to properties and see what it's done. Okay, so that got it down to 5.31 meg. So let's put that in there. And that was a zip file. So 5.31 meg, and that was the zip file. Okay, or file, just the one. Okay, let's go again. So that's test number one. So let's try a 7-zip file, which we saw just previously. So let's come across here, select all those, right click, compress to again, and this time we'll do additional options, but we'll leave it as a default of 7-zip, and we'll select this compression or and then we'll click create. So let's see that happen. Okay, so this is the 7-zip file. Let's drag that just underneath here. Awesome. And right click and do properties. Okay, so that's got it down to 480 meg, so, or 4.8 meg in this case, sorry. 4.8 meg. And that's the 7-zip file. So you can see the first attempt knocked about just over a meg, and the other one more close to nearly a meg and a half of compression there. So it may need it a bit smaller. One other benefit obviously is with zip files, you're going to be able to send them as on emails, obviously dependent on the size. Most email systems have limitations of around 50 to 100 meg. They're not going to let you send those across, but if you've got things like an executable file that we've got here, if you were just to send that in an email and attach that, the email system with the security systems that they've got in place will just drop that straight away. So you could send it via a zip file, which would then get through most email systems, because it gives you the luxury of being able to, it's not an executable file, so you'd have to double click it to view it. And obviously if you received a file like this and you were to open it or copy it to your desktop we've got here, you could just right click here, go down to your antivirus system and scan that, and it's going to be able to read that and scan that file, and we can see that that's actually safe. So now to pick one, either or, doesn't make any difference, they're both zip files, but if we then double click on the zip file, it will then open the zip file, and we can see the files that we've have in that zip file, and we can then open them as an example just by double clicking, and there we go, there's my desktop there. And also if we open a text file, so now there is something slightly different with this, and we'll go for it now. So if we open a text file, as an example, we've got that here. you can't make any changes to this file, as an example, and save them. So if I was to make a change, let's say change this IP address to be 150, and then I was to try and close this down, it's going to give me the options to save. So it's going to want me to save it separately. So I'd have to save this somewhere else. As an example, on the desktop, let's call it version 2, and let's put that on the desktop as well. So like I say, it won't let you save it in the actual zip file because it's zipped, but it will allow you to save it outside of that, and then you could always add that in like this, and that's going to take a few seconds to do that. So we'll just pause for a second whilst it does that, and there we go. So that's added it in, but it's now a separate file. So that's the only, I suppose, downside with that, but I don't think that's a deal breaker in its own right. Okay, so this is how to zip a file in Windows itself, but if you wanted extra features, you can actually download an application for free, and I'll bring that up so you can see that. I've got it from CNET here. You can use that link there. If you want some extra features, better compression, so we'd be able to get this file smaller. I'll just bring up the box here. You could also add things like encryption, so you could set a password, and that's an encryption method AES-256, so it's a high level of encryption that we've got there as well. But it can also create RAR files and ISO images, so there's extra features that you've got in that application. Like I say, feel free to download it if you want extra feature levels, but if you just want the simple, want to be able to zip a file or create a zip file so you can send it via email, then definitely that's an option as well. If you're looking to encrypt emails, then I've got a video that I'll pop in the link, or click top right hand corner of the screen, and hopefully see that now. With that, hope you enjoyed the video, and catch you in the next one.